SCP-112, the Variable Coaster. Object Class, Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-112 is contained within the abandoned data expunged amusement park. Designated Site Data Expunged. Site Data Expunged is to be staffed with a standard complement of 12 armed guards dressed in designated amusotastic land garb to prevent civilian interference. SCP-112's power supply is housed within a standard Foundation prefab building with 2 high security door locks and a standard staff of 6 security staff and 1 operator. Since all other rides in Site Data Expunged are intentionally disabled, civilian intervention is low, as the anomalous properties of SCP-112 occur regardless of its condition. Only mandatory maintenance work is to be done on SCP-112. This also ensures that local civilians treat SCP-112 and its surroundings as abandoned and ignored. All tests involving SCP-112 must be conducted with a portable toilet nearby, as well as a small table with basic food and drink items. Description: SCP-112 is a steel sit-down roller coaster, formerly known as the Blue Steel Cipher. Built in 19 Data Expunged, SCP-112 was marketed as the crown jewel of the Data Expunged amusement park. Initial testing of the ride resulted in extremely negative experiences from testing staff. When these reports became public knowledge, the financial repercussions of the failure of the Steel Cipher resulted in the parent company of the amusement park going bankrupt. The property was abandoned and undisturbed until 19 Data Expunged, when a local gang broke into the park and reactivated the improperly disabled rides. SCP-112 included. When police attempted to arrest the members who were exiting SCP-112 after its inaugural ride, the riders began to redacted, attracting local media attention. For more information, see Archive 112.Data Expunged. Suspecting the ride had trays within its mandate, the Foundation purchased the park, under the auspices of rebuilding the park as amusotastic land, in order to test any potential anomalous properties from the ride. When SCP-112 is started, the ride functions as expected until Point Alpha, its primary drop. When a car reaches Point Alpha, the train vanishes. After 3 minutes, the estimated time the train would normally take, the train rematerializes at Point Omega, 3 meters from the coaster's starting point. Human subjects riding SCP-112 have a drastically different experience compared to outside observation. The time frame between Point Alpha and Point Omega is massively extended, with subjective ride times ranging from 4 minutes to Data Expunged months. The properties of the ride also vary from person to person. Most subjects report element on the ride that do not exist on the ride proper, like batwings, cobra rolls, and inclined loops. Subjects do not have any sense that the rest of the world is alien or otherwise different, only the ride experience is different. Upon exiting the ride, subjects typically experience feelings of confusion and ill health, depending on the subjective time they spent riding SCP-112. These feelings are based not on any physical maladies, but the subjective experience of dealing with a physical malady for an extended period of time. For example, a subject with a subjective ride time of 3 days may experience confusion that he had strong feelings of hunger for most of his ride, but at the end of the ride he was not hungry at all. Addendum A. Assorted Experiments. Experiment 11,234,534. Date 02/22/Data Expunged. Subject D34 53 4. D34 53 4 was sent on SCP-112 at 2:42 p.m. The train reached Point Alpha at 2:43 p.m. Rematerialization at 2:46 p.m. Upon exiting SCP-112, D34 53 4 quietly asked for aspirin before passing out. Upon revival and medication, D34 53 4 reported a subjective ride time of 36 minutes, with multiple loops and twists not found on SCP-112's architecture. Experiment 11,267,564. Date 05/14/Data Expunged. Subject D67 56 4. D67-56-4 was sent on SCP-112 at 1:30 PM. The train reached Point Alpha at 1:31 PM. Rematerialization at 1:34 PM. D67-56-4 reported a subjective ride time of 4 minutes, which D67-56-4 reported as enjoyable with the exception of that part where the car jumps off the track and lands right before the loop. Experiment 1,125,893. Date 06/01/data expunged. Subject D5893. D5893 was sent on SCP-112 at 12:30 PM. The train reached Point Alpha at 12:31 PM. Rematerialization at 12:34 PM. At the end of the ride, D5893 immediately ran to the table with consumables, wordlessly consuming everything he could grab onto, including the wrappers of previously consumed food objects. D5893 became violent when Foundation staff attempted to subdue him, even going so far as to expunged. Upon capture and interviewing, D5893 remained confused and disoriented, continuously saying the phrases "no food till the ride is over," "let me sleep," "let the spinning stop," and 150 to lights. The Foundation believes that D5893's statements imply that his subjective ride time was approximately 5 months long, and during his trip he experienced 5 months worth of malnutrition and exhaustion, despite no physical proof of those experiences found. Experiment 1,127,556. Date 08/08/data expunged. Subject D7556. One standard issue camera facing D7556. D7556 was sent on SCP-112 at 11:36 AM. The train reached Point Alpha at 11:37 AM. Rematerialization at 11:40 AM. D7556 experienced symptoms similar, but muted, to those of D5893. During the interview, D7556 explained that his subjective ride time was 1 month and 6 days long. During his trip, he was unable to eat or sleep, and suffered major headaches from SCP-112. D7556 reported experiencing every sort of roller coaster element currently in use, and a few believed to be conceptual. Camera footage, lasting 3 minutes, shows D7556 sobbing for the duration of the ride, with movement consistent with SCP-112's physical track. Addendum B. Rider interviews. Experiment 112-35784-23512. Post-ride interview number 1. Subject D35-78-4. Interviewer Dr. Data expunged. Interview type post-ride interview. Dr. Data expunged. How are you feeling? 35-78-4. D35-78-4 rolls eyes. I'm fine. It was just a roller coaster ride, dude. Maybe you have me confused with the other guy? You know, the one that attacked when the ride was over? Dr. Data expunged. I will, in time. Describe your experience on SCP-112 please. D35-78-4 laughs. What's there to say? Before I was sent to jail, I designed coasters. A couple minutes too long of a ride. You always gotta worry about that. But the twists, that thing has a damn good. A few of them, I'm pretty sure I mocked up back in Data expunged. It would have been a lot better if the Data expunged editor next to me wasn't acting like a damn fool. Dr. Data expunged. D23-51-2. What was he doing? D35-78-4. Size. It's what he wasn't doing. That pissed me off. He was slouched over so much that his restraints were taut, just facing forward. Think his mouth was open the entire time. If it were possible, I'd say he looked like someone who had been on a crying jack for a few hours. I dunno. When we got that slow point before the banked curve, I tried snapping my fingers in front of him. Idiot just barely turned to face me, and you know what happened afterwards. Dr. Data expunged. Yes, he punched you. D35, 78, 4, not really a punch, really. Slapped me, shaking me, trying to choke me. I didn't get the impression that he really wanted to kill me, just wanted to get an answer out of me. That's what he said, actually. Shit, like why didn't you look at me? And why did you not stop cheering the whole time? In a very hoarse voice. Was in mid question with another when the guards introduced their rifles to the back of his head. Experiment 112-35784-23512. Post-ride interview number 2. Subject D23 51 2. Interviewer Dr. Data expunged. Interview type post-ride interview. Forward. This interview was conducted 3 weeks after riding on SCP-112 with D35 78 4. D23 51 2 is not willing to speak verbally since his ride. From time to time he attempts to speak, but shows signs of discomfort and pain in doing so, stating that his throat is too sore to talk. While there are no medical issues with D23 51 2, his experiences have obviously left him traumatized from his experience on SCP-112. Dr. Data expunged estimates a full recovery is possible before monthly terminations, and that at such time he will be capable of estimating precisely how long his subjective ride time was. This interview was conducted through written communication. Given his fixation on certain traits of the ride, this transcript has been edited for brevity. Dr. Data expunged. Hello, 23 51 2. How are you feeling? D23 51 2. Still hurts, still dizzy, loops and loops, spins for veranda. Dr. Data expunged. Why do you say your throat hurts? D23 51 2. Screamed over and over. Girl wouldn't answer me. She never looked at me. I screamed and screamed till I couldn't scream anymore. Throat got better. Screamed again. Never looked, never noticed. Just kept cheering the hell of ups and downs and downs and ups and side to side and side to side. Dr. Data expunged. I'm assuming you're talking about the person who went on the ride with you. 35,784. D23 51 2. Girl with the big jiggling tits. Cheered and laughed every spin, every turn, every twist. Even when it got dark I could hear her laughing and wooing. Couldn't sleep cause of her laughing and cheering. Light and day, bright and dark, always screaming and giggling. How could she do that? Dr. Data expunged. She told me you were just sitting there, staring ahead. She said she tried to get your attention, but you never responded. D23 51 2. I waved and shook her. She didn't move, didn't notice, just kept cheering. Tried to tune her out for a few months at a time, but she never noticed me. Kept cheering, kept screaming, kept laughing at me. As starved and peed myself and slammed my head against the side till I bled. Just kept laughing and screaming through the loops and the spins and the deep dark dips. That never ended, never stopped crushing. Dr. Data expunged. 23 51 2. I'm trying to help you, but acting insane won't help you in the least. There was no injury to your head at the end of the ride. D23 51 2. I was there. I felt it, the warm on my head till it got cold and stopped spilling. Still itches. Dr. Data expunged. So what happened at the end of the ride? You had a bit of an issue with 35 78 4. D23 51 2. She stopped laughing and giggling after all that time, and she looks at me and smiles and says, nice ride, eh? And I shook her and tried to ask her why she wouldn't stop laughing and screaming. I didn't want to hurt her, not really. Just wanted to know why. Repeats data expunged times until D23 51 2 is disabled. End of file.